This weekend, once again, jam-packed with traffic when drivers will finally see some relief. That said, if planning on catching some playoff action tonight, well, then you better head out early. The Blazers taking on Golden State at the Moda Center. Hear how ODOT is helping gamegoers get home a little easier. Plus,
science is a form of exploration that we all use for every facet of our life.
thousands pack Waterfront Park to march for science. Why many say their field is in the crossfire.
This is KGW News at 5.
All right, everybody, let's get right to it. Portland's traffic is an absolute mess tonight, and it comes courtesy of another weekend of road and bridge closures. So first up, southbound I-5 shut down right now from Broadway to the Markham Bridge. That lasts until Monday morning. Crews also at this point working on the Burnside Bridge, replacing a lift deck there. They plan to open it also by 4:30 a.m. on Monday. One big collective headache out there. Good evening, everybody. I'm Maggie Vespa. Nina has the night off tonight. All this traffic, of course, once again, will make things difficult as the Blazers host Golden State in Game 3 of the NBA playoffs. Our own Art Edwards is live at the Moda Center for us. Art, everybody's got to do some maneuvering on the roads tonight.
Yeah, you know, they really are going to be more than 20,000 people who will make it here to the Moda Center for the ball game tonight. You know, we're still more than 2 hours away from the tip-off, and people are beginning to gather down here. But I tell you what, it is going to be a challenge for a lot of folks to get here because there is work on the Burnside Bridge. I-5 is shut down right around I-84. You know, so there are going to be ways that you're going to have to work your way around that. But as it turns out, the folks here at the Rose Quarter worked with ODOT to try to make things a little bit easier for people who are driving to this game tonight.
Our friends at PBOT are going to actually open up the Wheeler Avenue ramp, which will take you out of the Moda Center going southbound for 2 hours from 9:30 to 11:30. That'll let you pick up I-84 eastbound and allow you to then to work your way out of the downtown corridor. So if you're leaving the Moda Center, you can go south on I-5 just a little bit to get onto I-84 eastbound to leave the Rose Quarter area. And then, of course, you can take I-5 north and then go over to the Fremont Bridge and work your way back around the city, headed back south, if that's the direction you're traveling.
So the bottom line is if you're going to be coming here for the game or when you leave the game, if you're already down here, you're going to have to really be patient because it is going to take more time. Now, we've been talking to some of the folks who are already out here, and they say that they have been riding the Max to get here to the game. And a couple of folks said they did that because they knew what it was going to be like on I-5 and decided we're just going to go ahead and make that change right now, ride the Max, and make it a whole lot easier. Back to you.
All right, good advice from them, and go Blazers. Thank you. Well, over to politics now, when 1 week from today marks President Donald Trump's 100th day in office, and he plans to celebrate. This morning, the president tweeted saying he will hold a big rally in Pennsylvania, and it just so happens that's the same night as the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which the president has already said he will not attend, as will the rest of the White House staff. The last president to skip the dinner was Ronald Reagan. At the time, he was recovering from the failed assassination attempt in 1981. The rally will happen next Saturday, and it will come after what Trump said would be a big announcement on tax reform on Wednesday. Well, back here at home, new tragic developments in the search for a missing Camas teenager. A spokesperson for the family has confirmed 16-year-old Cole Burbank has died. They say it was his body that police found inside his car in Chehalis. We are, though, still waiting on a medical examiner to officially ID those remains and release a cause of death. The 16-year-old had been missing for more than a week after he was last seen at Camas High School. Well, an autopsy today reveals a woman found dead inside a local Motel 6 was strangled to death. Police say someone yesterday discovered the remains of 42-year-old Valerie Johnson inside that motel on Southeast Powell. Now, when officers got there, they also spotted a stolen car in the parking lot. It then took off, and they followed it to a Southeast Portland neighborhood. That's where they found 31-year-old Joshua Carlson hiding on a home's roof. He has now been arrested and charged in Johnson's murder. Meanwhile, another man sits behind bars following a violent robbery in Northeast Portland, and police think his 2 accomplices are still out there. So here's the first of what might be 3. Officers arrested 22-year-old Stephen Blanchard last night. This robbery happened near Alberta and 20th on Tuesday evening. 2 people were hurt, and police say if you know anything that could help them find those 2 men, please give them a call. Well, now to South Carolina, where tonight the Charleston church shooter sits on death row. Dylan Roof is at the U.S. Penitentiary in Indiana, and that's where inmates awaiting execution are held. Prison records show him leaving South Carolina yesterday, and back in December, a jury convicted Roof on a federal hate crime charge. In June of 2015, he went into a Bible study group at Emmanuel AME Church and killed 9 black parishioners.
This March for Science Earth Day.
All right, well, a little rain couldn't dampen the enthusiasm of thousands in what was a global stand for science. The worldwide event comes in conjunction with Earth Day, which is today. So from the UK to Australia, New York to Los Angeles, more than 600 marches were held. The idea to promote the understanding of science and to rally against proposed funding cuts for research.
Science makes it possible that we don't leave anyone behind when we build the cleaner, fairer future for all.
Bill Nye, the science guy, also made an appearance today. He is a big advocate for scientific funding. A lot of event goers held signs directed toward President Trump, reading, quote, "Climate change is real." And here in Portland, thousands, as expected, showed up for the Rose City's own March for Science, and you can bet people there had plenty to say about the role politics has to play in that field.
Stand up for truth. Stand up for reason. Science and facts are always in season.
A frequent refrain among this sea of scientists and their supporters.
Well, 10 years ago, I would never have imagined doing something like this.
Was that data and research are objective and nonpartisan.
Science is a form of exploration that we all use for every facet of our life.
But it's the importance placed on investing in America's scientific community that had Portlanders pointing to politics.
Well, let's just put it this way. Have the scientists ever marched in the past?
Among them, local congressional leaders.
We have failed in the political process because they've made science partisan. They've undermined the credibility and confidence that people have, for example, in science, dealing with climate.
Specifically, many took aim at President Donald Trump's proposed budget, which would bring drastic cuts to government-funded medical and scientific research agencies. 31%, for example, from the Environmental Protection Agency. Necessary, says the president, to boost military spending and reduce the national deficit. Frightening, say people here.
I mean, I believe in fact-based decisions, and she believes in fact-based decisions and making decisions just not all on emotion, but looking at some facts and evidence. So I think that's really important.
All right, well, on a little bit of a different note, that's pretty cool. It was a big day at OMSI in celebration of Earth Day today. It hosted all sorts of fun events. There were musical Tesla coils, which is what you just heard, and tons of hands-on activities for nature lovers. And directors there say, really, there was something for all ages.
We have some cool different activities. We've been doing the Oath for Oregon, I think is one of my favorites. So we have a tree and kids can sign about how they're protecting the environment.
On top of all that, a local scientist also showed up today to school everyone on Oregon-based scientific research making big waves in the science world. And on top of Earth Day, today is Comcast's annual Comcast Cares Day. Hundreds of volunteers came out to Hartley Elementary School near Gresham. They pitched in on a long list of projects, among them cleaning school grounds and building a soccer field.
About 20% of our volunteers this year are under the age of 18, and we think that's really important. We create activities for the younger set because we want them to have instilled the concept of volunteerism and how important it is, and have it be something that they have throughout their lifetimes.
That's a great lesson there. So Comcast Cares Day has grown to become the nation's largest single-day corporate volunteer event. That goal is to make a change in local communities. Good for them. All right, next at 5, hundreds lined up today to be a part of a new HBO series being filmed right here in the Rose City. Coming up, which big-time Hollywood screenwriter is running that show. Plus, there's a new addition in China, and after 5 million name suggestions, these adorable baby pandas finally have their new names. What we can call our furry friends coming up.
And it wasn't the beautiful sunny 70-degree day we had yesterday, but we have seen the sun come out at times. The rain is moving out. Should be a dry evening. We'll tell you all about that coming up.